we used to have fights with them all the time. But and honestly, I really don't know why we fought all the time. I really feel like if you grew up in the ghetto, a lot of the adults are very immature. They will sit there and crowd around y'all and make y'all fight. That's happened to me. That's literally what happened when I had that fight. And then my brother came back. When he jumped me in, that's what when my brother came back and shot that dude. But when my brother shot the dude, I was in high school. The fight that I'm talking about now is when I am in elementary. But we used to fight all the freaking time. Me, Will, Chucky, and and Rundell and me were kind of like the actually we were the quiet ones. We didn't really want to fight anybody. We would rather not. Rondell was the little brother of Chunky, and me and Rondell was pretty much the same. Like we didn't like fighting, but Chunky was the oldest, and my brother Treadwell was the youngest, and them two just loved to fight. They would go at each other all the freaking time. I'm talking about all the time. I was just like, yo, bro, y'all need to like chill, bro. I'm talking about school, the bus, walking home, all of it. Like they just, and I'm like, God, every time. But if my brother fighting, then I'm fighting. Ain't no one on. Wasn't no one on. You feel me? So, um, one time, like we just were fighting. I remember we was at the basketball court. We fighting. I think Rondell ran, and then it was just me, Will, and Chucky, and Chucky was a heavy set. Will, he was heavy set, but Chucky was a real big heavy set guy, and Chucky had they was fighting. I was like, well, Mama said pick something up and bust him across the head. So Will picked up a bottle and went right across his head. Will went up, man. That was I just hear glass bust. I just hear glass bust in TJ room. So I'm like, oh snap. I get up, run to the door, open the door. And as soon as I open the door, whoosh, number fire in TJ room. Number fire in TJ room. So I remember TJ grabbing a bucket of water and trying to throw it over there, but couldn't get to it, couldn't get to it. It was like, it's just, I mean, we couldn't do nothing with it. My mom was like, everybody get out the house, get out the house. Now I remember seeing Chucky like walk past our house before I went and played the game. And like I said, there's a cut that walks behind our house to their house, and you go down a little bit, then you're at the house. So I remember seeing Chucky. So when they started investigating, I had already told my mom I saw Chucky. So my mom was like, it was Chucky or Rondell. Like, that's the only people we can point to, because, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't nobody else walked back there. So anyway, they firebombed our house. We were living in, we had an old station wagon at the time. It was gray. Me, my sister, and little brother, we were all sleeping in like the back of the station wagon. We were on the news, and they gave us like a hotel room for like 2 days or something like that. And I don't remember all of it, but because I was so young, but I remember that part. I remember going to school, and a teacher was mad that I didn't tell her that our house burned down. But I was like, bitch, I ain't trying to think about that. I'm trying to, if we homeless right now. But eventually, like, we had a really good landlord. We had a great landlord. He got us into a new house pretty quickly. And rest in peace to that landlord, Mr. Howard. He was a great landlord. Like, when I say a great landlord, if anything went wrong, he was on it. Like, he fixed stuff. So that happened. The house burned down. We got into a new house. But like I said, we was homeless for like at least 2 weeks, I think, before we got into that house. And then that's pretty much, our house got firebombed. Rest in peace, Chucky, man. Like, he passed a couple of years ago, man. So rest in peace. I seen Rondell. It's a while back, but you know, we speak, say what up, and keep it pushing, though. You know what I'm saying? But that is basically the story of my house getting firebombed. And that's not the first house. I actually been in 3 house fires. One of them was caused by my little sister playing with matches. And it was the same house. Matter of fact, it actually lit the bed on fire. And that's when I say Mr. House a good landlord. It lit the bed on fire. It kind of smoked up that room, set the walls on fire a little bit. But Mr. Howard came in, did every repair he could for that room, and that house smelled brand new when he got finished. Then the second one was the house getting firebombed and it just burnt down. The third one is the house that Mr. Howard put us in. I think it was a electrical problem or something like that. In the closet had clothes in it, and the closet caught on fire. So that was the third house. And then we moved down the street into a different landlord's house, and he was an asshole. But eventually we moved to the suburbs. But this was after TJ committed suicide.